So 2020 is coming to an end, and it's been a tough year. I don't have to tell you that. And for me and all the other photographers I know, it's been an especially tough year because, like most industries, almost everything we do is interacting with people. It does require that human-to-human connection, and we've lost a lot of that this year. Life changed so fast and for so many of us, and I think at the beginning of it all, we all thought it would be temporary. And it is, but not as temporary as most of us thought. This has been something that we've had to adjust and live with for months, almost a year. And I honestly don't usually like hearing, the silver lining stuff that a lot of podcasters or motivational speakers say. Actually, I'm not sure if I like even the term or title motivational speaker, in the conventional sense at least. And with that in mind, I do believe as a creative, or at least my personal experiences as a creative during this year, I can say there was an element to all this that I'm surprisingly grateful for. Let me explain. It forced me to push my creative boundaries. And what I mean by that is it recreated a framework that I had to operate within. A new framework with obvious restrictions. And for that, I'm actually kind of grateful. Obviously, it's a situation that I'd rather not be in. And I don't wish it on any industry or society at all. But that's where we're at. That's the reality of, at the time of recording this, it's December 2020. That's been the reality for most of this year. And I say I'm grateful in a way because it helped push me into a creative direction that I didn't think I would ever go down, at least in the short term, you know. Just before everything happened, I had everything lined up. This was supposed to be an amazing year. I had all these plans and clients, contracts, collaborations, and then almost overnight, it all fizzled out. At least it felt like it all fizzled out. And for the next short while after that, I had a really hard go of it. I tried to stay productive. I was getting caught up on organization, all that stuff that, you know, when you're busy, you don't have time for. But once I did all that, once I finished everything I had put off, because let's face it, in the spring of this year, most of us, at least, had a lot of time at home. Once all that happened and came and went, I thought to myself, now what? What do I do? And this is where me being grateful comes in. Grateful given the circumstances, right? You see, all this forced me to take a look at what I like creatively, what I want to do creatively, where I'm at creatively, and forced me to eliminate everything I couldn't do So couldn't being concerts, events, gigs that just either weren't feasible at the moment financially or weren't allowed or weren't safe, right? That's also really important. And it forced me then to see that everything I wanted to do had to be adjusted. Of course, that's a very, very difficult realization to get to, because it's hard on you, you know, because it's basically you finally realizing what you want and then finally realizing you just can't have that or can't achieve that at that given moment. And I took a step back and said, okay, well, I love street photography. I've been doing it for years. Whether I called it street photography or not in the early years, I've been doing it for years. I just bring a camera with me and shoot and document. And often it was, you know, on the way to an appointment or before or after work or a lunch break or even hanging out with friends. Enter 2020. We're allowed to go outside. I have all the equipment I need to stay safe, masks, etc. So I gave it a shot. I thought, okay, this is something that I need, because not even like 2 weeks before the first lockdowns, it was something I would do almost every other day, usually in the evenings, so almost every other evening. But I used to do it a lot. And it was amazing. I got to meet new people. I got to hang out with my friends, my photographer, creative friends. And I got to create, you know? And sometimes it was going out solo, right? Throwing on some tunes, made a playlist for it, and reflecting and capturing. And sometimes I'd have time to think. And when I'm out thinking with a camera, ideas kind of just flow. And that was my process. A friend of mine joked around with me and said, "You're exactly like so-and-so. You only shoot in artificial light." And I thought it was hilarious, because what he meant was I usually shoot at night and I'm always in like a very dimly lit environment. And I always rant and rave how in darker environments you obviously have lights in the city and in venues and concerts and all that. And light is concentrated on what either the shop owners or the city planners want you to see. So advertisement signs, billboards, doorways, street lamps, bus stops, street cars, all that. And that creates this spotlight. And it also creates amazing shadows. Recently, I was out shooting street in the snow, and we were just wrapping up. And it was nighttime, and, you know, a friend of mine said, "Can we set aside a time to shoot in daylight for a change?" And I think somebody walking across the street heard that and started laughing. And I don't know if they're photographers or not, but I thought it was pretty funny too. And I said, yeah, fine, sure. And I've done it, and I've taken pictures in the daytime, and I don't know if it was just what I found compelling to photograph, or there was a subconscious thing going on, but I would shoot a scene or subject and edit it the way I usually do, And I didn't even really notice until people started responding saying like, oh man, I love the way you do portraits at night. And I started laughing. I said, well, that was actually taken during the day. Goes to show you, everyone's got their creative flow. And if you take them out of that creative flow, they're going to bring it with them. And that's where 2020 has been for me. It's been outdoors only. It's been shooting street because I've been outdoors only. And even beginning to shoot outdoor street style photojournalist stuff freelance because that's a thing we could do. So much is happening right now. That's been 2020. We're going to reflect on this for a long time, I'm sure. When the first lockdowns happened, people were saying, oh, this is something our kids and their kids are going to talk about. It's going to be when I was young, I had to walk through, 20 feet of snow in a hailstorm on the back of an elephant riding backwards to get to school. Like, that's going to be 2020. That's our 2020. But all jokes aside, it's been tricky, and I've learned so much because of it. I've gotten really good at things because they were the only things I could have gotten good at during all this. Even recording this. It's not something I've done. And to be honest, it was actually something I just all of a sudden popped into my head at home and thought, let's try this. Let's create something. I've always instinctively thought I had to film something. B-roll, talking head club, video podcast. And so I waited until I thought I could do everything perfectly. And that day never came. I would record something. I would strap a GoPro to myself while I was out doing street photography. And I would tell myself, I'm going to use that footage to make an amazing FPV video on street photography and maybe techniques and edits and, show the shots that I was showing me taking and talk about them. And then I would take that footage, come home, load it up onto my computer, and I wouldn't be happy with it because I usually shoot at night, and GoPros, comically, aren't amazing at low light video. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love GoPros. You can stick those wherever, and it's great. But I don't know, it just didn't connect with me. And so I didn't do it. I have loads of footage, but I never did anything with it. So I thought, you know what? A thought came into my head. I have a microphone. Let's record it. And so I'm here recording. Visually, I feel like I need to add something to this. In fact, I'm probably going to remove my thoughts like this from the final product in editing, but we'll see. I don't even know what to call this project. They're just my thoughts and my microphone. But you know what? I feel like this could work. And if it doesn't, so what? And that's the beauty of it. You learn and you move on. As per future topics, I honestly have no idea what they're going to be about. I know what I'm about. And I know what my work is about. So they're probably going to be similar. But we'll see. I don't even know what platform to upload this onto. It's probably going to be on some kind of podcast platform. But who knows? And I want feedback. Let me know. Reach out to me however way you wish. Instagram, andreas.korfman, or wherever this is uploaded. I do eventually want to do some videos over on the Tube of You. Yeah, I know. Dad jokes abound. But seriously, videos are coming. This is just something I felt I needed to get off my chest. I might even turn it into a video. But yeah, this year's not over yet. It's been bad. If you haven't already turned it around, you still can. I don't even think I've been able to turn myself around. So don't think that you can't or you're not the only one. Just do it. See what happens. Peace out.